Hello everyone, today I am going to create few circular graphs using Adobe XD, and I had promised my students that I am going to create this tutorial in Adobe XD. Adobe XD has released recently few new features in stroke and outlines, so we are going to use that. And also I am going to show you one more simple trick which is going to be about paragraphs and the distances between those paragraphs. So now I am going to shift to my Adobe XD screen, and I hope you will love this tutorial. You can download the file from the description below, the XD file. I'm going to share it using my Dropbox or Google Drive, and you can download and see what I have done, how I have used different shadows. Okay, so we are going to create right now two circular bar graphs in this tutorial. So let's get started. Okay, now you can see we are in Adobe XD, and these are the three graphs I'm using. And right now, if I double click on this line, you can see there is a new feature which is this border, 10, dash and gap. This is the new one recently released in Adobe XD, and there are few more options over here. So we are going to use this and few shadows, and we are going to create these awesome looking circular bar graphs which have rounded corners over here. You can see this has flat corners, this has rounded corners, and this is pressure. And you can see we can easily create this kind of the dotted pattern using the same border over here. Okay, so you can see here we have border 10, gap 30, and that is how I created these dashed lines over here. So let's get started, and we are going to let's create a new artboard over here. I'm going to press A, and let's create iPhone 6, 7, 8 Plus. And now I'm going to do is I'm going to create a dark background over here. Let's use this as a background, and I'm going to use some darker gray color over here. Okay, so gray background. And now what we are going to do is we are going to use three circles over here. One is this one. Okay, so let's create it and size it 178 by 178. Okay, so here we have this. We are going to use border 10, and border color will be something over here, which the color is actually 53 E7 FF. This is the color. Okay, so here is the color. You can add it over here. 53 E7 FF is the color. Okay, so now I am going to remove this fill, and you can see we have this very nice color over here which can be glowing. We are going to make it glowing by this using this shadow. So now we are going to set this gap, and it is going to be dash is going to be 300 and gap is going to be 200. Now you can see we have this half filled border, and we are not using any editing, or we are not removing parts of this. We are just using this dash and gap. Okay, so if I try to reduce the gap, it is going to be again full. So this property is using is really cool. I am using the gap, so you can play with it. If I keep it 150, half of this dash, you can see we have like 30% empty circle over here. Okay, so let's use 200 right now, and I'm going to select this rounded cap. So now you can see we have these rounded corners on this graph, and these are the three strokes which are inner, outer, wherever you want this stroke to be, but we are going to use right now inner stroke. Okay, so we have done this first part. Now let's duplicate it, Control or Command D, and we have this one. Now we are going to use this bottom one, and what we are going to do is we are going to remove this dash and gap, 0 gap, and we are going to use some color like this, something like that. So this is the main technique. I'm using one layer behind it, and the top, or at the top, this one is at the top. So this is how it is actually working. Okay, now we need a third layer which is going to act as the shadow of this blue area over here. Okay, so this is our blue. I think this is our blue. So I'm going to hide it and show it, so make sure. Okay, so we are going to duplicate this blue, Command Control D, and now what we are going to do is we are going to have some shadow around it. You can see now there is a darker shadow. If I zoom in, let me show you. Okay, so now you can see over here we have some shadow. You can see this is darker shadow multiplying in the background. So this is very subtle shadow. And for the glow we are going to use another layer. Okay, so at the top, this is the blue top, it is going to be blue glow, and the bottom one is going to be our blue shadow. Okay, so now you understand how I'm using this glow. I am right now there is no way to use some inner shadow or something like that, or multiple shadows on this layer in Adobe XD. I hope they are going to make this work in future. So let's select this color, and you can see this glow is very sharp, so we are going to reduce it. You can use the opacity. Okay, so I'm going to use 70% opacity, and also I'm going to change the color of this glow. It is going to be 60 E8 FF. So it is a bit over here on the lighter side. I'm going to add it over here. So you can see now it is added over here. And also let's change its direction to 0, Y0. So let's use 1 at the Y, and I'm going to use 3 as my glow. Okay, so it's up to you. You can use whatever blur size for the glow, like this one. It's up to you, whatever you want to use. Okay, also if you want to make it like 90% or something, it's up to you. Okay, so right now you can see it is very glowy. Okay, now what I'm going to do is the bottom layer, which is this one, darker one, we need to have some shadow on it, so it is going to look a bit elevated from this background. Okay, so I'm going to double click and select this one, or you can select it over here and press this shadow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 30% shadow over here, and we are going to move it with the X position to something like that. So I am moving it in the inner side. Okay, so you can see right now I'm going to use 2 for this one, and 3 for this one, and 5 for this one. Now you can see this is looking really great. The inner shadow is looking great. So let's see what was the color I used for this bottom one. So I am using black, and it is going to be 30% black, I guess, something like that. Okay, so maybe you can use something like this. Let's see what I actually did over here. Okay, so no, it is not looking black right now. Actually, I used some kind of gray over here. So I'm going to go back to the color I had before. Just use it like that. Okay, something like this. Okay, so I'm liking this one much better. Okay, so you can use whatever color you want. Okay, so I'm going to make the background a bit more darker so we can use it easily on the top of this one. So now you can see the glow is also looking great because our darker background is making it look great. Okay, so let's change the color of this one to this. Okay, now it is looking awesome. Okay, so we are going to add some text over here, which is going to be 65% complete, and we are going to make it 20, and this is spacing, paragraph spacing, this is line height, so I'm going to use it 24, and we are going to use bold, not italic over here. Let's align it in the middle like this, and for this one I'm going to use regular and also smaller size. Okay, so here is my first version and it is complete right now. Okay, now if you want to change the blur settings of this glow or whatever you want, you can change it to 2 and 4, which I actually used like that. So it is a glow which is very closer. Now this is the glow which is more expanding and more expanding on this area over here. Okay, also if you want, you can remove this shadow over here, this below shadow part, and I think it is looking better now. Okay, so you can turn off this layer which we use for blue shadow. So we are going to just use this glow and this darker background of gray. So now you can see this is looking really cool, and the only setting we did is this one. This is going to be caps. So if you want other cap style, you can see over here, this is butt cap. It is a bit expanding on the sides. This is projecting cap. So these are different cap styles. You can, if you zoom in, you are going to see the difference between them. You can see over here. So this is rounded, this is straight, and this is a bit expanding or projecting. So it is actually like opening the mouth over here. So it is a bit wider on the edges. Okay. So this is how we have completed or designed this glowing part over here, and this one is complete. Let's try to use this one again. Almost one month ago it was not possible to create these rounded corners graphs in Adobe XD. Okay, so now we are going to prepare the second one. Let's duplicate it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this, not this one, the bottom one. I'm going to expand this one like this. Okay, so rather than creating this one, I'm going to just create another variation for this one. Okay, so we are going to do the same dashed area, but we are going to do something different over here. Gap is going to be 100. Okay, so right now we have something like 100. Let's use 30. Now you can see this is another variation and it is looking really cool, but we want something like this. So let's use dash of 10. So it is making it more closer. So you are going to play with this value. You can see okay, so this is looking good. This is looking good. The back gap is 34 and the dash is 10 and the size is 10. Okay, so what we can do is let's change the color of this one. Okay, I think it is looking really cool like this, but if you want to change the color, you can use something like this. Let's remove this shadow over here, and we are going to use some darker shadow of this one, this color, like that, and it is going to be 4. Let's use 5 over here. Okay, so this is it, and the shadow is harder, I am not sure, so let's make it more harder because it is not easily viewable. Okay, so this is looking good. Let's change the color of this red. I am not liking it much, so this looks great. Now we are going to change the color of this shadow, and let's use some green. Like this dull green. Now I'm going to change the color of the background over here, and this is going to be not black. Let's make it like this. Now this red is looking really awful, so I'm going to go over here, grab some light pinkish red, and also I'm going to use some shadow over here like this in the red area, and let's change this color to some other green color which is more natural. Okay, so I think this looks better. It is more on the a bit of bluish green color. Okay, so also if we want, we can also, let's make it a bit less. Okay, so this looks great. If you want to add the fill, which I actually did in my example, what I did is I just used some lighter color on the fill like this. And now we are going to use the second property, which is this one, outer stroke. Okay, so you can see this. Okay, so this is center, and I'm going to use this one this time. Okay, so this is how I did it. And if you want the shadow to be a bit lighter, let's make it a bit lighter like that. Let's make it 2 over here, so it is not moving a lot of down in the Y position. So I have adjusted it like that. Okay, so this is how we are going to do this circular graph of another style. So I am leaving the third one for you. You can create this one. This is gray, this is blue, and it is on the outer side. Let me show you. So you can see it is outer stroke. It is set to outer stroke. So these are really helpful. And these are the 2 examples we created right now. And one more thing is that I wanted to show you another feature which they recently have done. So I have created this simple layout, and you can see over here on the right side, this is called paragraph spacing. So if I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs, 4, 5 paragraphs. So now if I want to move the distance between my paragraphs, you can see if I make it bigger, the paragraphs are expanding like that. So if I want to make it like maybe 20 or 18, it is going to be like that. Okay, so let's make it 24. And now you can see my line height is 24, and also the paragraph spacing is 24. So this is how we are going to control the paragraph spacing between different paragraphs. It is a very recent feature just released in Adobe XD, and I hope you will enjoy this lesson and how I created all these things. Let me see what were the color values over here. So this color is a bit on the middle side. It is a dull light green. Okay, so let's copy this over here, something like that. Now it's better. And that is all for this lesson. You can do something like that, and you can create a lot of things like that. Okay, so what I did is I created a very nice animation, UI animation, using an app called Protopie, and I'm thinking about creating one of the courses on this topic. So we will do some micro interactions and few other interactions. So let me show you what I did and how it is playing out in this one. So let it load my XD file. Okay, so it is loaded now, and let me show you. Let's play this. So now you can see this is the animation. Very cool, very simple loading app animation. I created these in Adobe XD, and I imported the files in Protopie. Now in Windows it is supported, also on Mac. This software is great, Protopie. It is available for both Mac and Windows, and it can have a lot of great interactions, and I really love how this actually works. It is very simple. We are going to have one course on this one. So really love this, and I wanted to show you a few more options, like you can use Protopie with Adobe XD on Windows too. And also there is one more advanced thing, which is Zeppelin. You can see over here, now I am on Windows 10, and I can export to Zeppelin and Protopie, both of them. So this is a new thing which I was waiting. Before that it was just present in Mac operating systems. Okay, so that is all for the updates and all the new stuff in Adobe XD. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. You can see I'm sweating right now. I'm recording this in a lot of hot room. It's very hot and too much heat in this room. And I hope you will enjoy this lesson. If you have any comments or you want to learn anything new in Adobe XD, you can comment below. And that is all for today. See you soon in another lesson.